Not all wounds bleed. Some simply fall silent. That silence. That's what first told Caleb something was wrong. Not shouting. Not slamming doors. Just the absence of laughter, of warmth, of love. In every forced smile from his wife, Tessa. In every "I'm just tired," she mumbled when he asked what was wrong. In every glance that refused to meet his. He tried to fix things. He really did. From cooking her favorite meals to slipping handwritten notes into her coat pockets. Each gesture small, heartfelt, hopeful. But in the house they had once built with joy, only ghosts walked now. Ghosts and Tessa's ever-present headphones, drowning out the sound of his voice. And maybe her guilt too. Then one day when Caleb stepped out to give her space, just a few days as she'd coldly requested, someone else stepped in. Not metaphorically. Literally. A man arrived at their doorstep. Kiss. Smile. An ease Tessa hadn't shown Caleb in years. It shattered him. Hey my friend. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this story if it touched you. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I read everyone. Caleb had sensed it coming. That slow rot in their marriage. But he'd clung to hope like a raft in a storm. They didn't fight, not really. They just stopped speaking. The silence between them grew into something loud. Their texts were about bills, groceries, dog food. Their conversations, if they happened, dripped with impatience. Tessa shut herself away most nights. Caleb would come home early hoping maybe, just maybe, they'd talk. But she'd retreat into the bedroom or put on those headphones, ignoring him completely. When he tried to engage, she'd accuse him of hovering, of being too emotional, too needy. So he adapted. He moved like a stranger through his own home. Careful, quiet, invisible. What hurt most wasn't her irritation. It was her indifference. He had become a ghost in the house he helped build. Then came the final blow. One cold evening over a tense dinner, she set her fork down mid-bite and said it flatly. I need space. I feel suffocated. Can you stay somewhere else for a while? Her tone was clinical, not cruel. But that somehow made it worse. Caleb packed a small bag, numb and unsure if he'd ever return. She barely looked up from her phone as he walked out. He crashed at his brother's place. Said little. Hoped it was temporary. But a voice deep inside whispered it was already too late. Still he tried to believe. Maybe she just needed time. That illusion cracked the day he drove by the house. His house, hoping for a sign. Instead, he got a wound deeper than silence. A stranger stepped onto the porch. Confident, bullish, comfortable. Tessa followed, glowing. And then came the kiss. Not clumsy. Not guilty. Familiar. It wasn't a new connection. It had been ongoing. Caleb's heart turned to ash. He stormed from his car, fury overtaking restraint. What the hell is this? He demanded. The other man, face drained, bolted. Tessa didn't deny it. She didn't beg. She just turned and quietly shut the door behind her. That silence said everything. And that's when Caleb broke. He didn't care who was watching. Neighbors peeked through windows, lingered on porches. He unleashed weeks of buried agony into the night air. Shouting, grieving, unraveling. Then silence again. But this time it was his silence. His choice. Back at his brother's place, Caleb collapsed. He stopped eating. Stopped talking. Went through motions at work like a shell. Until one night, he ended up in a quiet little bar he'd always ignored. He sat in a dark corner, staring into his drink. That's where she walked in. Her name was Lena. She didn't try to fix him. Didn't offer clichés. Just asked if she could sit. He said yes. That night they talked. He didn't lie. He told her his marriage had fallen apart. Lena simply listened. And for the first time in months, Caleb felt heard. When she left, she asked gently if they could stay in touch. That soft smile of hers. It didn't promise a rescue. It offered something rarer, understanding. Days passed. They texted. Light conversations. Shared music. Meme or two. Slowly, something shifted inside Caleb. She never pushed. Never asked for more than he could give. One night he told her everything. The betrayal. The silence. A kiss. When he finished, Lena looked at him and said, "That says more about her than it ever did about you." Simple. True. Healing. Weeks turned into months. They met for walks. Coffee. Long, quiet drives with no destination. There were no fireworks. Only warmth. Only peace. One evening after dinner, they left a small cafe hand in hand, laughing at something silly Lena had said. And then a voice stabbed through the night. "You're still my husband." Elsa. Standing by her car, eyes wild, fury twisting her face. "You're not even divorced yet. Who is she? How long has this been happening?" But Caleb didn't yell back. He didn't flinch. He simply said, voice steady, "You asked me to leave. You were already with someone else. I just didn't lie about it." She sputtered, raged, accused, but none of it touched him. Not anymore. When she realized that, her face crumbled. The power she once held. She left without another word. That was the real end. The divorce came soon after. No drama. No vengeance. Caleb hired a lawyer. He offered a fair split. Home sold, investments divided, no alimony. No kids. Just a clean break. Tessa tried to argue. Claimed she sacrificed her dreams for the marriage. Caleb didn't fight. He just said, "You made your choice. Now you live with it." The papers were signed. And for the first time in years he could finally breathe. He renovated the small apartment his father left him. Took a class he'd long postponed. Found himself again, piece by piece. Lena was always nearby. Not rescuing him. Just walking beside him. One weekend they found a quiet cottage by a lake. Over coffee, Caleb pulled out an old photo box he'd found while renovating. Lena looked through them, smiling at each awkward haircut and childhood grin. She paused on one photo, eyes shining. "You've been through so much," she whispered. "But look at you now." He didn't respond. He didn't need to. His smile said it all. That fall, Lena gave him news that changed everything. She was pregnant. Caleb held her tightly. Tears fell, not from pain but purpose. He had thought he'd never find peace again. And yet here it was, alive, growing, breathing in her womb. When their son was born, it felt like closing a book and opening a brand new one, filled with hope, healing, and truth. Not triumph over the past, but transcendence. What do you think, friend? Let me know in the comments. If this story spoke to you, check out others like it on my channel. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories that remind us. Even shattered hearts can beat again. See you in the next video.